I'm Holly. CNN has assigned me to do a documentary on the Industrial Revolution's impacts. Stay tuned and make sure your bums don't get sore.
Hello, young gal. How are you today?
Hi, Mr. Big Cat. I've been working for 2 days straight. I'm hungry. I want my mommy.
Oh, pish posh, my young guy. We'll have none of that. Work, work, work. Oh,
Mr. Big Cat,
no.
I'm only 10 years old.
No exceptions, or there will be the dogs to you. Now make me more richer.
People of the 21st century, did you know children aren't allowed to cross coal mines? Also, the fact children have an option to work, but only for a minor amount of time? Only the worst had to have brought up these new laws. Children of the Industrial Revolution were slaves. They began workforce around the ages 3 to 5. They were seen as workers put to hard work, having to inhale the fumes of the beginning innovation of air pollution. Children getting used to the machinery led to many illnesses and injuries, and including the cause of death for some. 2 30-minute breaks throughout the day and a break at night. They couldn't tolerate the length of time. They were children taught no better but how to use that machine. Workshops used children as a replacement for elders, as paying elders were pricey, so they thought they had an advantage of kids since there were so many. If you weren't at their expectations, you were beaten or replaced off the job. Children weren't educated of the world, they were educated on how to make cotton strings. Too many children were in the industry that names were lost or names were all mixed up, including gender files. Children were always expected to minor injuries, yet they found it a reason for children to do a better job. If they showed poor working abilities, they would have been what they called weighted, the process of which an overseer would tie a heavy weight on the worker's neck throughout their working. Let's think of how many issues this can cause on one's developing neck. Let's pretend I'm Hidea the woodchopper. I needed to be educated on being a lady. Time then came to senses that in general children should be taught nothing other than survival. It's when the Industrial Revolution ended when school began in history and where children were all contributed and now being recognized as a pupil that is being educated. In this primary source, on 1909 July 10th, Lewis Hine wrote about child labor in the canning industry, giving us the real idea. And I quote, "Children are permitted to work for long hours, even though they may be very young. Incredibly small are the fingers that work along those in the rest of the family." As time and sense came to acknowledge, Hidea the woodchopper, thanks to the Industrial Revolution, is finally recognized as a student that eats and sleeps. The Industrial Revolution has done such massive change when it comes to the way we control our organization in the working industry. Back in the day, we didn't have freedom of speech where we were able to speak on what you feel is right as an individual. The Industrial Revolution involved a lot of working shift, although if you were too ill or aren't liking the wage you're getting, you were to be punished or thrown back on streets. As the Industrial Revolution was still developing, new factories, new inventions, new ideas put enough jobs out there for everybody. Due to the Industrial Revolution, that one factory became the other thousands of factories we have today, giving more opportunities for people. Since jobs were increasing, more jobs, more people, jobs needed to make sure everything was equal, that every job must have the same rules applied to any other, which is something we now call the union. The union is there always ready to be contacted if we dislike or the job contracts don't mention something you were supposed to do. You speak it out to the union. This is freedom of speech. Since the Industrial Revolution times, you never had a backup. Although having to open a word of a job issue, consequences were given. Thanks to the Industrial Revolution, we have achieved another impact in our human rights.
What are you doing?
I'm Sundays, Bug.
You're wasting company's time. You should be working.
I don't feel like it.
Then I should fire you.
I'll go on a strike and get the union involved.
Oh, we don't need none of that.
Okay.
Go on and do your thing.
Oh.
God, I hate this generation.
Inventions of the Industrial Revolution are all they depended on. The invention of the factory was the reason to why we have expanded our productions to simplify the making. Children and teenagers were to help making these inventions because a start to something new always led to something different. The inventions of the Industrial Revolution is a reason to why we don't need to look through the phone book and search a book of names to call one number unlimitedly. Phones take a huge part of our lives today, as it able to secure you with a phone, internet, entertainment, and basically what we can call our life. Welcome, Samuel Morse, the inventor and the master of the telegraph. You made the success of what we call SMS, where we are able to communicate globally, as you successfully worked the invention using a wire. How did you make the world economically smaller? SMS, Parton, what? Well, in my experience, I already acknowledge that we are able to communicate out or near your current location. My invention was nothing other than to send messages through near located areas. It seems as though the world having really great inventions. Due to the Industrial Revolution, we are fully secure in making ways, technology, and inventions much faster and easier. That we aren't all in a big community trying the hardest of ways to get a message across. But now from our success, you're able to talk in a small community, in a little conversation. Oh, poor Mr. Morse. Yes, it is that the knowledge that we have, inventions of our age are all the process of what has started back in the Industrial Revolution. And for that, we have continued the making. An example? The spinning jenny, the sewing machine, the elevator safety brake, vaccines for diseases, all of which have become huge processes in the world today. Louis Pasteur, the inventor of vaccines, has done such a pleasure to our economy, as it is easy to overcome diseases and a closer step to death, as it is grown to stop any causes to our economy and not causing widespread, causing a huge risk in making a full economy sick. Yes, the success of the Industrial Revolution is the main reason to why we have global warming, other than the population increase, having factories causing air pollution, which eventually led to mass production. If we stopped then, life wouldn't be easy. Environments such as forests have been destroyed and put in use of a factory. This is called deforestation. Forests are the help of replenishing oxygen and giving a definition of beauty. Although for our human sake we find it a need to destroy everything, we have no need of stopping, and as high as our population gets, we won't stop for our selfish needs. More making of cars, destroying environments for roads. Hopefully, with all the mass production, we'll be able to still breathe. Due to all this pressure and use in this world, we mess with the climate and we mess with the way the world is supposed to work. As shown in this line graph from how the beginning to end of how global warming has contributed from all these fumes and gases that all these works do. Although the Industrial Revolution has made a change to our world, it has also brought upon us a problem that will always be an issue in every corner of this world. It was a matter of expectations. You were to either not have a job or have a job that made you work 12 to 19 hours a day, times breaks, and the most least wages given. You were always to miss out on needing something if you weren't secure. Mothers and fathers put their hands to rest as the children work with their developing little hands, just the earning of a cent or two. It all depended on their conditions. As long as you were old enough to know how to saw the wood in half, you were qualified, although weaknesses, winning, breaking machines were the actions you were to beware from, or else they take the next kid in line. Without the Industrial Revolution, the world wouldn't have had a better way to realize it socially needed a change. Nowadays, there is so much privilege to being secure. Education, experience, profession are all the key to success, unless you were raised nowhere other than a very unhealthy environment, which is the explanation to poverty. Security took part of human rights of giving everybody many ways to earn money. food, and to be in wealth. The Industrial Revolution never gave any privilege of choice. In the 21st century, you are to become somebody, study of what you like and make a success of it. Be a profession and get paid for enjoying it, including those who don't have any experience. The working industry has many jobs to offer and getting you ways of living and great wealth. If anything was left, knowing we have a government that now looks over us, controls us, helps us, and are also the growth of security, which the government provides these houses, hotels, and shops. The government provides banking, in the process of which you store money and borrow and return, which just adds on to the many lists of help. This socially makes a community that is secure, all in the reason of the industrial revolution's ignorance. And again, my name's Holly from the CNN Productions. It's been a pleasure for me to be explaining the Industrial Revolution. Stay tuned for more!